"You're coming with me." The stranger's voice was calm, but it carried the kind of certainty that made Emma freeze despite the snow already numbing her body. She looked up from the icy sidewalk outside the nearly empty bus stop, her lips trembling, her hands wrapped tightly around herself. The last bus had passed almost an hour ago. Her phone had died. Her wallet had been stolen during her hospital shift. She had nowhere warm to go. The man standing over her wore an expensive charcoal coat dusted with snow, polished shoes already soaked from kneeling beside her, and eyes that seemed strangely familiar. Emma shook her head weakly. I don't even know who you are. You don't need to." His next words made her heart race. "But if you stay here another 30 minutes, you won't survive this storm." She had no idea that accepting one ride from a complete stranger would uncover a secret connecting their lives for years, and change both of them forever. Welcome to the Kindness Chapters, where ordinary moments reveal extraordinary humanity. If stories that restore your faith in people mean something to you, we'd love to have you here. Feel free to like the video, subscribe, and let us know where you're watching from. Now, let's go back to that snowy night that neither of them would ever forget. Emma Carter had spent the last 6 years working as a night shift nurse at St. Gabriel Medical Center. At 29, she had become the kind of nurse every patient hoped for, patient, gentle, and endlessly compassionate. What almost no one knew was that kindness came at a price. She worked overtime almost every week, not because she wanted promotions or recognition, but because she was paying for her father's dialysis treatments after insurance stopped covering everything. Every extra shift meant another bill could be paid. That particular evening had already been exhausting. A young accident victim had fought for his life for nearly 4 hours before the doctors finally stabilized him. Emma never left his bedside, missing her dinner break and the last employee shuttle home. When she finally walked outside close to midnight, the city had disappeared beneath a blizzard. Her bus pass was gone. So was her wallet. Someone had stolen both from her locker. She searched every pocket twice before accepting reality. The next bus wouldn't arrive for another hour. A taxi refused to stop. Her apartment was nearly 6 miles away. She sat down beneath the shelter, hoping the storm would calm. Instead, it became worse. Across town, Daniel Lawson wasn't supposed to be driving. As CEO of one of the country's fastest-growing healthcare technology companies, he usually traveled with a driver and security team. Tonight, he had dismissed them all. His mother had died exactly 5 years earlier. Every year on the anniversary, he drove alone through the city, visiting the small neighborhood where she had worked double shifts as a nurse to raise him after his father disappeared. She had always told him one sentence. Never become so successful that you stop seeing people. Daniel had built a billion-dollar company. But lately, he feared he had stopped seeing them. As his car rolled past the bus stop, headlights briefly illuminated a young woman curled against the freezing wind. He drove another 100 feet. Then remembered his mother's words. He slammed on the brakes. When Emma looked up, she expected another curious stranger. Instead, the man removed his own coat and wrapped it around her shoulders without saying a word. She immediately tried giving it back. "You'll freeze." "I'll survive," he answered. "I'm more worried about you." She noticed he wasn't speaking to impress her. There was no pity in his voice. Only concern. "My name is Daniel." "Emma. You need medical attention." She smiled faintly. "I'm the medical attention." For the first time that night, he laughed. It wasn't loud. Just enough to remind both of them that warmth sometimes begins with a smile. Emma reluctantly accepted the ride. The car wasn't flashy despite its price. No loud music. No unnecessary conversation. Just quiet. As they drove through the snow-covered streets, Daniel noticed dried blood on her sleeve. "You've been hurt." "It isn't mine." She explained the emergency surgery. The frantic parents. The child who survived. Daniel listened carefully. People often told him stories because he was rich. Emma spoke because she simply needed someone to hear her. When they reached her apartment building, another problem appeared. The landlord had changed the locks. A notice taped to the entrance read, "Rent overdue. Access denied." Emma stared silently. "I can explain." "You don't have to." She lowered her eyes. "I'll figure something out." Daniel looked around. The streets were nearly empty. Temperatures had dropped below freezing. There was no hotel nearby with vacancies because of the storm. After several quiet seconds, he finally said the words that would change everything. "You're coming with me." Emma hesitated. Every instinct warned her against trusting strangers. But exhaustion left little room for pride. His home wasn't the extravagant palace she imagined. It was elegant but strangely quiet. Almost lonely. Only one elderly housekeeper greeted them. "You brought someone home," she whispered with surprise. Daniel simply nodded. "She needs a warm meal." Within minutes, Emma sat beside a fireplace wrapped in blankets while sipping hot soup. She couldn't remember the last time she had stopped shaking. For the first time in months. She felt safe. The next morning she insisted on leaving. "I've already taken enough from you." Daniel handed her a small envelope. Inside was enough cash to replace her stolen belongings. "I'll pay every dollar back." "I believe you." She smiled. "You don't even know me." He looked at her for several seconds. "I know enough." Over the following weeks, they stayed in touch. Not because either planned to. Life simply kept placing them in each other's paths. Daniel quietly arranged for anonymous donations to the hospital's hardship fund after learning how many nurses struggled financially. Emma never knew who started it. She only noticed that coworkers suddenly received help when emergencies happened. One evening, Daniel toured St. Gabriel Medical Center as part of a healthcare partnership. Watching Emma comfort frightened patients affected him more than any business presentation. She remembered birthdays. She stayed after shifts. She held trembling hands long after doctors had left. Money built hospitals. People like Emma gave them hearts. If stories like this inspire you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the Kindness Chapters for more unforgettable stories. Months passed. Their friendship deepened. Still, something about Daniel remained distant. Every time conversations became personal, he changed the subject. Emma assumed he simply preferred privacy. Then everything changed. During a charity fundraiser, an elderly woman approached Emma with tears in her eyes. "I've been wanting to meet you." "I'm sorry, have we met?" "No." The woman smiled. "But 30 years ago, your mother saved my grandson's life after a terrible accident." Emma blinked. "My mother passed away when I was 12. "I know." The woman pointed across the ballroom. "My grandson is standing over there." Emma slowly turned. "Daniel." Confused, she looked back. The woman continued softly. "His mother never forgot the nurse who refused to leave his bedside." That nurse was Emma's mother. Suddenly dozens of small moments made sense. His familiar eyes. The way he respected nurses. His annual visit to the hospital district. Emma confronted him later that evening. "You knew." Daniel lowered his head. "Not at first." "When did you find out?" "The night I picked you up. My housekeeper recognized your last name." "And you never told me?" "I didn't want kindness to become a debt." Emma stood speechless. He continued. "My mother spent the rest of her life saying an angel named Sarah saved her little boy." "Sarah." Emma hadn't heard her mother's name spoken with such gratitude in years. I kept wondering what she'd want me to do if I ever met Sarah's family. His voice cracked. Then I found you sitting alone in the snow. Emma's eyes filled with tears. Neither spoke. Some truths didn't need more words. Just weeks later, another crisis struck. Emma's father collapsed during dialysis. The hospital discovered he needed an immediate kidney transplant. Waiting lists stretched endlessly. Emma prepared herself for the worst. Without hesitation, Daniel used every legal connection available, not to skip the list, but to locate compatible donor programs across multiple states. Within days, a donor kidney became available through an interstate transfer that otherwise might have gone unnoticed. The surgery succeeded. Emma's father survived. When he awoke, Daniel sat quietly in the waiting room drinking terrible vending machine coffee. "You've done enough," Emma whispered. He smiled. "I've spent years building companies. This feels more important." Months later, Daniel announced something that surprised investors. Instead of opening another luxury corporate headquarters, his company would fund scholarships for nurses facing financial hardship. The program carried only one name: Sarah Carter Memorial Scholarship. Emma cried the first time she saw it. Not because her mother's name appeared on a building, but because kindness had continued traveling through people she'd never even met. Years earlier, one nurse had saved a frightened child. That child became a successful businessman. He rescued another nurse during a snowstorm. Together, they helped thousands more. One act. One decision. One freezing night. The greatest changes in life rarely begin with grand plans. Sometimes they begin because someone simply stops the car. As for Daniel and Emma, neither would ever claim they rescued the other. She reminded him what success was truly for. He reminded her that accepting help can be just as courageous as giving it. Together they proved that compassion never